Crime may not pay, but you can't beat its benefits package. I don't usually, well, I'm lying through my teeth. I get very political all the time. Anyway, if you're watching this, stop watching this and go fight for net neutrality. Yes, even I'm getting involved in it. There's not much else I care about these days. A lot of people out tonight. Anyway, like I was saying, there's not much I care about anymore. But what I do care about is frontiers. Space is a frontier. Both cyber and outer. In order for people to explore frontiers, to keep their frontier spirit alive, it involves risk. Risk means freedom. And that's what's wrong with America right now. It's just everybody's so risk averse that they stop to realize that there's good risk and bad risk. And sometimes we just have to let risk happen, even if the bad risks happen. We need our freedom back. In order to get our freedom back, we need risk. So when it comes to stuff like the internet, take a libertarian philosophy, man. Just leave it alone. Let it thrive and die on its own. What do I think the government ought to be doing? Everybody says, the government ought to do this. I think it ought to encourage and give people insurance against risk. And that's me so damn blasted in a preventative mode or a restrictive mode. The government has to get that started though. Private enterprises ain't gonna get it done. Anyway, net neutrality. What do I mean by risk? I mean investments. Evening. It's an unusual guardian. He shows no fear. He is a natural cat. He just has curiosity. Anyway, investments. I'm not talking about businesses or property. I'm talking about people. You invest in youth. You invest in education. You invest in infrastructure. You allow for failure, and you forgive failure. You provide second chances. A lot going on tonight, man. It is interesting, though. I live in a country that will go for broke when it comes to spending for defense, and give excuses when it comes to spending on people. We just don't have any money in the budget. I was like, but you got $1 million. I said, you got money in the budget for $1 trillion upgrade in America's nuclear arsenal. What's the point of having all that protection when the people you're trying to protect don't have anything? I guess they did it. God, I'm tired. I'm running on 5 hours of sleep. Wow. 4.5. And I'm reading stories about soldiers doing that kind of stuff for survival training, where they'll put the guys on guard duty for one guy. They put him on guard duty and reduce rations. Was what they said though that happened after, like, they said eventually what started happening was they started seeing things. I was like, is that really what you want? You want somebody with a gun who starts thinking he sees guys up in the trees looking at him? But no, I get why they do that, because a good strategist in a wartime scenario, you never give your enemy the fight they want. Everybody tries to dictate the terms. You don't like the terms, retreat until you can find a better position where you can get your terms. You can fight a superior army if the superior army is restrained. In the old days, what was it? If they you had a big force that, like, or that you were outnumbered, one of the things you can get into your tactical advantage is make your enemy go through a bottleneck. My favorite tactic, though, is misdirection, and then you slam the door shut on them. You draw them in, draw them in, draw them in, extend them past their supply lines or make them overrun a position. And then you spring the trap and just watch the chaos ensue. I think about Russia. That's why I've always admired Russia. Russia has never given an enemy the fight that they wanted. Evening. Russia never gives anybody the fight that they want. But you know, the funny thing is they got a little taste of their own medicine in Afghanistan. Well, that's because Afghanistan, by its natural terrain, is designed to slow down large armies. You just don't send big forces in there. Don't send big forces down there. It's a bowl. And the bad guys always, or not the bad guys, but the people who live there are always going to have the upper ground. They're always going to make you crawl up the mountains and hills. And there's always going to be narrow passages for which you have to walk around or walk through. Afghanistan is a natural blender. Whatever enemy force is dumb enough to go in there, they're getting caught up in the blades at the bottom, spit out at the top. What radical thing could you do in Afghanistan? I guess you can blow up the mountains. Then it gets expensive. kind of the secret to war, man. Is you delay, you delay, you delay, and then you find out who wants it bad enough. Long battles are costly. In the modern era, man, people don't have a stomach for wars that last even more than 3 years. People say, we've been in Afghanistan for 16. The war in Afghanistan probably ended after about 2 or 3 years. A lot of people just didn't know it. The aftermath is just trying to kind of figure out who was going to formally surrender first. I already know what's going to happen with that situation now. The Taliban won't ever rule that country the way they used to, but they'll still be part of it. They'll become legitimate. They'll kind of soften over time. So that's what happens historically. That's what happens with gangs and shadowy associations. Is the government spends all that time fighting them, and then eventually they just become part of the mainstream society. They go legitimate. That's what happened to the mafia. They didn't go away. They just bought up a bunch of legitimate businesses. And like a true pro, they discreetly do their quote-unquote illegal activities. People are still disappearing. They're just disappearing in landfills and being disposed of in such a way that you just won't ever find them. They still have their hands in a lot of illegal activities, just isn't how they do it by proxy, and they find some. They kind of do what businesses do now. They mitigate their risk by using independent contractors and outsourcing. It's all just business, man. Whether you're peddling flesh or computers. Hell, even space now is a business. You know, it always was, but not directly. Now it is just a look. We're in this for profit. Not mankind. Not to win the Cold War. Just pure, hard greed. We're going to greed our way into space. You can't really do that because, like I said earlier, frontiers take risk. When white America was moving west, they didn't send corporations west. It was individuals with not much else on their back, just desperate, hungry people going out west, staking their claims, developing the land, making something of it, making a subsistence living. And then as towns and stuff started being established, the big players came in there and said, okay, we like what you did to this place, it looks nice, we're taking over. We're going to start installing a government that's friendly to us, stock it with our people, and then we're going to start expanding here. And big business doesn't come alone. It's big business and big morality comes into. It's like, we like what you did to the place, but you guys are a little too rowdy. We're going to establish civilization here, and that means that we're going to start restricting some of the freedoms you used to have. It's part of the reason our guys are going crazy now. No more frontiers. Except cyberspace. That's why people game. And what are the most popular games in the world? MMORPGs, where everything's supposed to be open. And things like Minecraft, where they go out there and they just build stuff. And you got, for a while, zombie survival stuff, where everything's just kind of in chaos and flux, but it's still the frontier, it's the Wild West. And you've got a convenient enemy too. One that doesn't feel anything, one that doesn't have any humanity in it. One that's clearly black and white adversarial, and you have to destroy. So one thing you can't tell anybody is like, yeah, we're going to build spaceships, and they're going to need to last for 1,000 years, and on the way there, people are just going to be playing video games and immersion pods until they get there. So I'm paying billions of dollars for people to go out into outer space and play video games? Pretty much. And they might not ever get to their destination? Right. That's crazy. Yes, but it only has to succeed once for you to seem sane. They always make outer space look cool because they have to innovate out there. If you don't innovate in outer space, you're dead. You have to find better ways or different ways of doing things. Imagine the leaps that mankind would make while it's on its way to some unknown destination. Well, it's kind of known. You aim for Alpha Centauri, make that big initial burst, attach yourself to an asteroid, start building the ship that you're going to, or start building the vehicle that you're going to be using while you're getting there. Encouraging your astronauts to have children, but a fixed amount. The whole time they're out there, they're living in virtual worlds so they don't go stir crazy. they do in these virtual worlds? Mostly practice. But every once in a while, like I said, they get to play the game. They'll be doing simulations of what they expect to do while they're establishing new lives establishing colonies on new planets. Every once in a while, I guess the environment, whoever controls the environment, will throw in a little monkey wrench here and there. What happens if we get to the planet and this happens? What happens if we get into the planet and this unprepared thing happens? Now, corporations are not going to invest in this. It's just not going to happen. What might happen, the government will partially subsidize something, and then some other people will get together and start forming some kind of like Kickstarter, joint stock company thing. They'll say, I'll pay $1 million if you reserve me a seat on the Galaxy 1. Get like 1,000 people. Send them to the moon, and then from the moon they just start building the ship that's going to take them to Alpha Centauri, or whatever point I guess they're supposed to have the planet on it that we can inhabit. Well, I guess the depressing thing is that traveling in outer space is going to be, it's going to be Ridley Scott's vision. Big, ugly, slow ships. Big, ugly, slow ships, and then there's going to be corporations / government ventures that go in and mop up after they've sent these colonists out there to die while getting killed by some weird bug alien. Either way, they get there in 1,000 years, they send relays back saying, yeah, we made it. We're doing pretty good here. Turns out this planet is like 75% gold. No, it won't be anything like that, but this planet has vast resources, blah, blah, blah. And that's all they'll hear is, hey, the planet has vast resources. All right, they took them 1,000 years to get there. It'll take us 250. And they said 250 years is too long. That's all right, we're building the system. I think you probably have jump gates. Somehow you'll create an artificial wormhole with a portal on one end, and the other end you just jump through the gate. Part of me is hopeful, man. Like I won't be old. I won't live long enough to see the great space boom, but I hope that mankind is at least around long enough to where I just see that as people just itching to get off the planet, to do whatever it takes to get off. They're going out there, man, and it's wild and fun. It's scary too. The reason I'm not that hopeful is the slow-moving disaster that people have called, you know, the slow-moving disaster of global warming. Mankind won't just die off, but at the same time it's going to struggle just to survive. So then you got that going on. 7 billion people reduced down to 500 million. Living in artificially sustained habitats, trying to undo the damage. And then maybe like 1,000 years later they get it all fixed up, and all of a sudden we have to start over again. That's the future. There's gonna be a lot of people dying. A lot. Oh, it won't be that bad. Yes, it will. The good news, like I said, the good news is we won't just flat out be extinct, but the bad news is it's going to be bad. I'm only doing 5. As you can hear from all the babble, I'm just not in it today. Had 2 days of dealing with. Yesterday I had to deal with an unscheduled disaster. Of course, that's what a disaster is. I had to deal with a little disaster on my vacation. And then today, what I thought was going to be just a simple... Actually, today went the way I kind of planned it to go. Took the car in. I always expect them to keep it overnight, and I was like, the dealership, for whatever reason, does not want to do that. No, we got it done today. Come pick it up. Okay? And I guess I should be grateful. The only reason that happens is because people say, hey, I need my car for work, man. I need a car for work. I mean, all day it was just people being dropped off at home, and one dude said, get me a rental car. I got him a rental car. Like this, that's the thing about this nation. Nothing slows down, nothing stops. You got a bad foot? Well, go in there and get surgery. And I know your doctor said you had to rest for 10 days, but we're gonna have you work from home. So you're high on painkillers and everything else, and in a semi-lucid state, but you still got to do your work. overheard something on the news where I guess the woman took a couple of days off for sick leave because she needed a couple of mental health days, and the boss was understanding. But then all these other actors started kind of chiming in on the thing. And when I say actors, I mean players. By players, I mean agents, other people. Start chiming in. Well, why don't we just stop calling it sick time? Why don't we just start calling it? That's the sad thing. The idea that somebody could take a mental health holiday in America and all of a sudden it's big news. They do it in Europe all the time and nobody bats an eye. Eventually this country has to shut down. It'll be bad at first, and then after a while people will say, wow, you know what? That was kind of a good thing that happened. We don't have to work 24/7, engage in karoshi. Do this till the cops show up. Yeah, I'll do one more. Might keep doing them until the cops come by. Like any good running game, you keep doing it till they stop you. I think the folks around here are getting apathetic to my presence. That's progress. One more month, it's going to be Techno Bowl season. "30 years of Techno Bowl." If it wasn't for that stupid exclusive agreement, that'd be the perfect thing to release right now. Tecmo 30th anniversary. You see, that's one of those examples of where freedom is gone. Mad couldn't deal with the competition, so they eliminated it. That deal with that, like I said, that does away with innovation. If Madden decides one year they want to release a good version of Madden, they can do it. Or they have been doing it according to a lot of the reviewers. Can't go anywhere else. Might have overdone it a little bit. I am wore out. I said I'll do 5. Didn't see the cops. I said, let me do 5. Sit one more. I said, yeah, still don't see them. Let's go ahead and do 8. The only thing I should have did 8 of is 8 hours of sleep. Thank you, nature, for that cool breeze. I was just thinking about Supergirl and how I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch another season of that show, man. It's just... Jessica Jones is a better feminist superhero TV show than Supergirl is. Supergirl, they beat you over the head with it, and it's just over the top, and it's just... Everything's simplistic, everything solves itself. There's no seeming repercussions or consequences. Jessica Jones, she messes up the whole time, but it's her mess to clean up. She rolls with the punches and she gets through it. She's a reluctant hero. And life just goes on. It just seems more real and authentic versus Supergirl. But if there's one thing I like about the show, it's the character Win. Something about Win, like he's like something straight out of a Shakespearean tragedy. He's the guy that Shakespeare's going to just mess all over. He had a chance to go with something deep where he goes out, he has an alien girlfriend. And instead of making it where, yeah, she's just a bad girl, I just deal with it. It's, no, she's a bad girl, but she was being forced to do it. And I was like, come on, man, that worked in the 50s and you know, during the comic code period. Can we get rid of that? And maybe that's what I like and hate about Supergirl, is that it is comic code authority approved. Like, you swear this stuff came out of the 50s, man. You're watching it and you're like, because I don't think she's never fought anything magical or supernatural. Don't grow zombies or anything like that. And they don't really flaunt they don't make fun of authority, or they don't question authority, I guess is what I should say. They don't question authority, and authority never seems bad. The government's semi-neutral in the whole situation. I like Win. Why do I like Win? Because he is the archetype for the nice guy. The problem with the nice guy is that the nice guy is broccoli. Broccoli is good for you. you know, if you work your palate a little bit and spice it up a little bit, broccoli can be quite enjoyable. But at the end of the day, no matter how you try to dress it up, it's still broccoli. That's why nobody likes nice guys. Nice guys are broccoli. I like broccoli. Mix broccoli with raisins and cashews, some spinach, put in salad with some vinaigrette. Like dipping it in ranch. Hell, I'd eat it raw too. I was thinking today what I would love to do is take broccoli and put it in one of those food dehydrators, dry it out, sprinkle it with chili powder and chili powder, seasoning, salt, and lemon packets, and you'd get something with a nice little wang, like a broccoli Dorito. I guess I shouldn't have said food dehydrator. I should have said like bake it, you know, like what they do with kelp. Pretty sure you can do the same thing with broccoli. You can just roast it to the point where it gets crispy. I think people would dig crispy broccoli. It's like, what am I eating? Crispy broccoli. I hate broccoli, but I like this. People need broccoli. Broccoli is good for you. But people don't want broccoli. That's the conundrum of the nice guy. You're broccoli. But you're broccoli in a world where nobody wants broccoli. Maybe if you cover yourself in chocolate or cheese, you might stand half a chance. That's what a rich nice guy is. He's broccoli with some kind of appealing covering. But he's still broccoli. That's why nice guys can't get anything done in this country. In a country of people that want red meat, raw red meat, you can't be broccoli. Sorry. You can be broccoli in Europe because, you know, Europe's weird like that. You could probably be broccoli in the Middle East because I think broccoli is halal. I'll check that out. You damn sure could be broccoli in Asia. They'll stir fry your ass. Mix you with something. It's like, oh yeah. They'll eat you plain. Put you in a boiling pot. Broccoli is loved in Asia. It's a staple. Broccoli's not loved here in America. And so all these idiots who give you advice, they tell you, you don't want to be broccoli, pretend to be red meat. I know you're still broccoli at your core, but pretend to be red meat. Slather yourself in steak sauce. Act like red meat would act. Go in there and attack that colon. They don't accept you for being broccoli, they want you to be something else. They get Alec Baldwin to get up in front of a teleprompter and act out lines from a movie. The problem with you people is you're broccoli. Nobody wants fucking broccoli. Man up and ball up and become red meat. Alec Baldwin just spitting in your face with that sneer. And those piercing, like Russian cold blue eyes. Just telling you to stop wussing out and become red meat. And then what happens? Everybody's red meat. America's all clogged up and constipated and having heart problems. And so what's the problem? Well, the problem is everybody wants to be red meat. Nobody's doing the job broccoli's supposed to be doing. I'm here to say to all you nice guys, man, America needs its clothing cleansed. It's not a pretty job, but it's one that needs to be done. Don't compromise. Stay broccoli. Even if being broccoli doesn't get you anything, even if the times being broccoli is painful, stay broccoli. Let me get a tattoo. People are just gonna look at me weird. Broccoli for life! Nice guys don't get tattoos. That's not necessarily true. They just get them in places where people can't see them. One day I'm sitting there strip searching. Being strip searched because I did something stupid. Guard looks at me and says, "Why is there a tattoo on your ass that says broccoli for life?" I'm sorry, officer, you'd have to have been there. There's no point explaining being broccoli to somebody whose job depends on them being red meat. That's the sad thing. Even in law enforcement, they have to pretend to be red meat, but a lot of what law enforcement needs more broccoli. You can't throw red meat at red meat and expect something to be accomplished. Sometimes red meat has to go up against broccoli, vice versa. So this is my pledge, YouTube audience. I'm gonna stay broccoli. Now, unfortunately, the broccoli in America today, because of disuse, had to kind of store itself in different ways. So the broccoli in this country is bitter and kind of venomous. So the broccoli in this country is getting pickled. So I'm pickled broccoli. Little sour. Little sour, little salty. Still better for you than just plain old red meat though. You know what the cool thing about being broccoli is? You don't have to try so hard. Well, okay, broccoli was trying hard when it was trying to be accepted, but once broccoli realizes the truth, broccoli doesn't have to try so hard. It's a liberating feeling. When you don't have to impress. You don't have to bribe or beg. You just walk and observe. It is really nice out here tonight. And unfortunately I'm yakking my ass off here, but it's been pretty quiet. I thought I'd see at least one dog walker somewhere. That tells me the weather's not quite that nice yet. Dog walker says, you know what, Fido? Here's the newspaper. You make a mess of that. Right there on Trump's face, please. That's the thing that pisses me off. Is like everybody's mad that Donald Trump's in the White House. Donald Trump is red meat. God, he's a beautiful piece of red meat. He is the greatest. He is what he says he is. He is the greatest piece of red meat that America has ever created. He is Kobe. He's filet mignon Kobe aged beef. There's no additives, preservatives. What you see is what you get. And I'm so sorry that you don't like the fact that a bunch of red meat wannabes went and voted and put red meat in the White House. That's just the way it is, man. I tell you what, you want to stop that from happening? Stop ignoring the broccoli. Bernie Sanders was broccoli. Oh my God, was Bernie Sanders broccoli. He was the epitome of what we all look up to. He is our broccoli king. I'm sorry, we don't have kings, we're intellectuals. He is our broccoli Socrates. Someone we don't look up at, like we don't believe in gods or anything, but if we quote somebody, we're going to quote Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is the head broccoli. Then you take and you put Hillary Clinton in there. Hillary Clinton is white meat. Not only is Hillary Clinton white meat, she's canned white meat. She's not even fresh. She hasn't been roasted. She's not rotisserie like everyone's used to, and everybody's eating healthy these days. Everybody's eating rotisserie chicken and free range. She's canned chicken. You put canned chicken up against raw red meat, raw expensive red meat, and then shocked. I thought Americans would just eat any kind of meat. No. Somebody has told you wrong. They want it red and bloody. You know, the Democrats won't learn. Instead of embracing that they're broccoli and running broccoli, they're going to go through the next election cycle, and either they're going to run fresh chicken, or they'll do even worse. They'll say, well, here's veggie burger. Everybody's going to look at you, seriously? What is a veggie burger? Think Leisure Suit Larry, but in the modern era. You know, the metrosexual guy that uses product and goes out there at the clubs every weekend and tries so damn hard. That's a veggie burger. Just stop. Embrace the broccoli, man. I know there's about 10 or 12 intellectuals whose time is due. Guys who want to try a new thing that you guys can run. You may run and lose, but at least you won't run and lose as a Johnny come lately. Put broccoli on the ballot. Hell, I might even vote this time. I'll look at it and I'll say, well, it's broccoli that still takes money from corporate fat cats. It's tainted broccoli, but it's tainted broccoli. I guess that'd be the chocolate coated broccoli. That'd be fried broccoli. Like you just betrayed everything that you were about. You're fried broccoli. I can't even look at you right now. You're slathered in butter and covered in batter. I'd even vote for fried broccoli, because at least at its core it'd still be broccoli. I could hope, right? You rip through all that fattening, nasty batter, and on the inside there's a steaming pile of goodness. That steaming Greek broccoli. Yes, I'd be willing to settle. I'm that stupid. May I ask myself, if I'm describing political parties like food, what would the libertarians be? Libertarians are spicy food. Something that if you eat too much of it, it's really bad for you. But it's an acquired taste. Like Americans don't really do spicy all that well. That's why libertarianism never quite catches on. It's like, you guys need to come down a few Scovilles. like down to what territory? Maybe green pepper. Can you do green pepper? I don't know. Best I can do is jalapeno. Mild jalapeno at that. So they're always going to be running a guy who's a jalapeno trying to disguise himself as a green pepper. America's like, no, the spiciest I'll do is green pepper, man. Sorry. Libertarians, maybe, I don't know if they'll figure that out, but I don't think they... The problem with libertarianism, you don't want to compromise. You want everything wide open, so... Alright, you know when I like libertarianism? When everybody can freely move into the community that they belong in. Libertarianism doesn't work when you've got poor folks having to live around desperate folks and getting hurt in the process. It doesn't work when there's a eroded middle class and there's this big wall separating rich and poor. It works when there's a little bit of a middle class there, and maybe the college educated folks, you know, certain income brackets get together, certain ethnicities get together. Every once in a while people mix up. But if a single guy wants to live in a single guy apartments, there's no discrimination law that says that they can't set those up. You know, prostitution and sex work can be legal, but that's because the proprietors are responsible and respectful. Same thing with the people who use drugs. That's the assumption. It's like that's the only way it works. In an educated society, you don't even have to think about libertarianism. It just exists. It's like, why don't you have a rule for that? Well, we have sense here. We're learned people, so we don't really engage in that kind of stupidity. We didn't think we had to have a rule for that. You know, libertarianism works when there's a sense of equality and erudition. When people are well informed, responsible. See, that's what the Founding Fathers were dreaming about. They weren't really dreaming that the government would do all these things. They were dreaming that people would just start getting smarter and smarter and more liberated to the point where you wouldn't really need you wouldn't need the government 24/7. Government to a light bulb. You just can't leave it turned on all the time. There's sometimes it's like, well, nobody's really using the government right now. Okay, well, let's go ahead and turn it off a little bit. Save some energy. Turn off government when not in use. It's like, no, I'm the government. I'm always on. Brightest light out there, day or night. And occasionally I make squawking noises. The government is that neighbor that lives in the McMansion. The person that lives in the McMansion having endless parties. this out here? Not a cop in sight. It's weird. You know what it is? I think they're too busy dealing with drunk teenagers right now. There's this strange shirtless black guy running through my neighborhood. Can y'all do something about this? Well, we could if we weren't taking care of real crime, ma'am. Why don't you just go out there and talk to the guy? He might be alright. Oh, we've talked to him. No, that's alright. He's one of them. Just, okay. You know what? She's right, though. I'm one of them. We have secret membership meetings and everything. That's what I don't get on the camera. I'm part of a shadow organization called Them. Haven't come up with anything for the acronym yet, but Them. A proud member of the secret society of Them, the anti-American non-white coalition that is threatening to tear apart America. We get together and sacrifice babies and sneak subliminal ebonic messages and television ads. We're the guys that keep Glenn Beck sleep up at night. We don't let him get any sleep. Sometimes we call him, harass him. Ooh, Glenny, you were so close to stopping us this time. Come on, Glenny. I know you got more in you. I keep telling you, Them. They called me last night. They were messing with me. Nobody believes me. Even when I wipe out the chalkboard. Them. Maybe we should just call it the acronym. Maybe it means thinkers, homosexuals, equalitarians, and minorities. There we go. That's what they mean when they say them. You're right, I am part of them. Them. You must battle them. Them are evil. I said equalitarians, I guess I should have said egalitarians. And then there's our sister organization, Watt. Them Watt gets together and something must be done. Them Watt threatens the United States. The secret organization of Them. All I'm saying is, if I'm part of a secret organization, which one of us gets to be Cobra Commander? Because I want that face mask, man. I want to be cutting my lawn one day in boxers and a wife beater and just got that reflective thing on my face and people just look at me and say, hey, how's it going? We're having a barbecue on Saturday, you're invited. Yeah, fuck that stop sign. I envy the people that look like they just stopped trying. Because sometimes I want to do that. I want to get stoned all the time, eat the wrong things, sleep with the wrong women. have a complete disregard for other people. Because they make it look so easy. It's like, that's all you gotta do? Yeah. You just gotta not give a fuck. I was like, wow, I can do that. I can totally do that. No, man, it's harder than it looks. And for a while I did try it. After the election I just said, you know what? Zero fucks given at this point. I'm slowly starting to come back around and say, I'm just gonna be picky about what I fight for now. Like I said, I ain't voting for a party that wants red meat, and I ain't voting for a party that accepts canned chicken. I'm broccoli, and I ain't gonna fucking compromise anymore. Once again, that's something that looks really good on a t-shirt. I'm broccoli and I'm not gonna fucking compromise. You can see the whole movement though, man. It's like cute women wearing t-shirts that say broccoli sexual. Splinter groups, well, I don't really want to be called broccoli. I'm more of a carrot guy. Fine, whatever. Gay guys would call themselves tossed salad. Man, I did not think I had this much of a charge left. And again, that might be the wrong light. Oh well. I think these are lithium ion, so I think I'll just charge them both. I still have old habits that die hard, and that was back in the days of Nikon. I just let it drain out completely and then charge it back up because Nikads had memory problems, which means like they couldn't remember how much of a charge they could hold, or not that they couldn't remember. It was the cell would change itself to where it couldn't hold the capacity. It couldn't hold as much of a charge capacity as it could before. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Yeah! Oh, come on, lady. They're just showing me some love. Some doggy love. Doggy love hurts, but man, it's fuzzy. Honk if you love fur and fangs. There we go. Johnny Law. Everybody's a perfect driver. Everyone knows how to stop, signal. Seatbelts, please. Seatbelts save lives. Alright, I apologize for babbling so much tonight, but thanks for listening for those of you who did. I'm tired, so that's why I'm talking, so signing out.